Daryl, hey buddy, how you doing, dude?
Hey, good evening. How are you?
No, man, good to see you, man. I haven't seen you forever.
It's been a minute. It's been a while.
I know. Seriously, man. I'm just waiting on Jedi real quick, because, I just moved down the street and I don't even know what he's supposed to. Oh, what?
There he is.
You leave your garage open. This is what happens.
Yeah, you get the strays from the neighborhood.
I know. Great Jedi. Oh, even the dog doesn't even know that he's supposed to be here. That's fucking hilarious.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. How far did you have to go? Really?
3 minutes.
I'm gonna close the garage real quick.
Yeah, you're we've got your exercise in for today.
That's it, man. I'm in the neighborhood now, so very exciting.
How long have you been in the neighborhood?
I moved in 3 days ago.
Oh, well, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you, man. It's exciting. Here we go. Garage door is closed.
Yes, there we go.
And the studio is live.
Yes.
There you go.
We're live and we're soundproof.
Excellent.
And I've just caught my breath, just in time to crack a beer, I think, hey?
Catch your breath, Jedi. Catch your breath.
Absolutely. Oh, very good. And what are you drinking tonight?
This was actually a gift that was left on my doorstep.
Oh, like a welcome to the neighborhood gift?
That's exactly what it said on the bag.
Jolly good.
South Bay Bubble India Pale Ale from the El Segundo Brewing Company, right there.
Very good. Very good.
From Mark Karloff.
Nice.
Oh, excellent.
Nice. What are you drinking, Daryl?
I have Celebration Ale from Sierra Nevada.
Oh, that's a good one, man.
It's their holiday drink, comes out every Christmas season, and I have picked it up without fail for the last 10 years at least.
Yes, it is a good one, that is for sure. And I'm going to reveal my beer from the Josh Wingerter lunchbox, as always.
Yes, you're
don't know what's in there, but
Ta-da.
It is a Modern Times accumulated knowledge hazy juicy IPA.
Very good. Good choice.
Oh, pretty good, man.
Yeah, Modi.
Oh.
Whew. Hold on, crack.
Go. Very nice.
I'm gonna do the crack and drop. Cheers, Jedi. In person. And then I'm gonna drop in here. This is always a good sound.
Oh, that is a good one.
It is. That's a newfound sound.
Very good. Well, gentlemen, here we are.
I know. Daryl and I back together again. I'm not sure how many jobs Jedi and Daryl have been on before.
I mean, I've definitely encountered Daryl in the past. I mean, I can't think what jobs or how many, but I mean, I know your face, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I am not the guy that was harassing or was thought that was harassing Hillary Duff a little while back, even though I do have that resemblance. It's not me.
No,
it's funny.
No, you definitely have the likeness of the gentleman that was doing that, but we didn't hear any much past that, did we?
Well, no, because he wasn't doing. All he was doing was photographing. I have been in that same position where you're at a park and the person you're working on goes to a public park and the park is already full, and all of a sudden 7 guys show up and they all have cameras on, and people are like, "Why are you taking photos of our kids?" It's like, your kids are not important. Your kids are not going to sell. Go away. Leave us alone.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, honestly, I believed him, what he said in the whole situation, which
I did too.
He was just there. He was taking photos. He was trying to take action photos. Maybe he was a weirdo, but he definitely wasn't a pap. That's the whole point,
Oh, I thought he was.
No, I don't. No, he was not a pap. I don't know who he was. Nobody that I talked to knew who he was.
Okay, so he was just a random guy at the park, just taking just photos.
Exactly, and like I said, he might have been a weirdo taking pictures. Might have been a complete psycho, but he was not a pap.
No,
that's for sure.
Okay.
So Hillary Duff accusing him of being a pap and doing what she was doing was her being paranoid. you know.
Exactly. And it was unjust on that poor gentleman then.
I think so. And we didn't hear anything past that, you know, like there was no after story. There was nothing beyond that. So, you know,
because he was just a regular guy, so it just disappeared probably.
Exactly.
I think so.
I felt sorry for the poor guy.
I did too.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
I did too.
She posted on her Instagram, which has 10, 12, 15, however many million people, you know, that this guy was, whether she said he was a creep, a pedophile, or just, you know, not a nice guy, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
And how would she know that from just seeing him standing there?
Exactly. And I mean, she's not just accusing him of that kind of stuff. She's accusing everyone, like us guys, that show up to shoot, you know, the said celebrity at the park.
Exactly. And we've all heard them claim that.
Yeah. And, you know, we're generally just shooting the celebrity, you know, Duff or whoever it may be. We're not shooting children because, you know, People magazine and a bunch of other magazines now don't even print pictures of kids.
Right. Well, that's the way it is now. That's not the way it used to be.
Yeah. But right now, the kids aren't the story. We can't sell a picture of a kid anyway. So it is just the celebrity that we're interested in.
Yes, indeed.
Well, and the reaction that he had as well, you know, it wasn't a reaction of a pap that was there trying to take pictures of the kids. It was a reaction of a guy that was just confronted by a mom that maybe he was a little sketched out, you know, because of this mom coming up and, you know, getting all in his face and, you know.
I mean, we spoke about it on another podcast. I don't think he even knew who Hillary Duff was.
Exactly.
He didn't.
Yeah. He's just got this mom coming up, you know, yelling at him saying, "What are you doing?" So, but we'll definitely be putting the video of the guy along with this right now, Daryl. So we will see you guys side by side, which will be good, you know. But no, Daryl's been in Minnesota for a long time. So, you know, he wasn't there.
That's the story we're going to stick with.
Yeah. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Daryl. So let me ask you something, man.
Go ahead.
You know, you've been out of the business for a while, right? We're talking what, 3 years?
No, officially 2012. But
Okay.
I have a couple of assignments that I do here in Minnesota that I do get. I get some you know, coverage for.
Okay. So how do you feel? How do you feel about being out? How do you feel about, you know, working on your own terms, going and getting what comes to town? You know, give us a little update on yourself.
I will, absolutely. The best thing about it is that when I leave my house, I don't have to look at every single face that I'm walking past or driving past. And I guarantee you, it took me a little while to get out of that norm. It was like, okay, I don't have to do that anymore. Because literally, what we do is if we go outside of our homes, we're looking at every single face because you never know who's going to be in that face.
That's right.
You know, and I used to live on Venice Beach. So, you know, you walk out and you're right there on the boardwalk and there's already, you know, thousands of people right there and you got to scan them all, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, literally when you leave your house, because there could be dollar value in every single person you spot, you know.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't think you live in a place where there are celebrities that are out there, they still come to your town. I can't tell you how many times I've just gone downtown in my town, which isn't a town where celebrities usually hang out. Zoe Deschanel, boom, you know, walking out of the coffee shop, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Wouldn't you like to know yet? You know, we'll get you up to speed here.
I've been driving around the town a couple of times, just kind of getting my bearings. I'm yet to take my camera out, so maybe I'm going to have to start making sure I've got it.
Well, as a pap, you should always take your camera out.
Absolutely.
I think that's rule 1, right?
Absolutely. And I have also gotten out of that habit too. You know, my camera is actually sitting over here on a tripod, and that's basically where it stays for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Well, I'm not sure what good that's going to do, but alrighty.
Yeah, I take it out, you know, when it snows and things like that. Get some nice fresh snow shots.
Sure.
I like that.
Sure.
I mean, have you got snow on the ground in Minnesota at the moment?
We had some snow yesterday. It has melted today, and we are not going to get any more until next week or so. But yeah.
And then it's just going to keep coming. It's just
Yes.
going to keep coming, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We will have, once it officially starts, we will have snow until April.
Yeah.
And what was really weird is that we didn't get our first snow until our first official snow was like 2 weeks ago. And the day before, people were driving around with their convertibles on. They had the convertibles down. And it was like, it was like 80 degrees. And then the very next day, snow.
Wow.
Yeah. How is it getting used to that, by the way? I mean, you obviously come from Southern California here. It's got to be a little adjustment.
Yeah, but you have to realize I'm a New Yorker. So I grew up with all. So yeah, it was a pleasant return for me.
Yeah.
So do you miss LA, and do you miss like the day-to-day paparazzi job at all?
Yes and no. I do miss being in the game and being in the hunt and getting a good set of photos, in the bag. I used to enjoy getting a good set of photos if I could, before breakfast, before lunch.
Yeah.
And that is always a good thing, because then after that, the day is yours.
Exactly.
And you can just, travel around. You could pick where you want to go. Oh, I'm gonna go to Brentwood. I'm gonna go to Pacific Palisades. I'm gonna go to Hollywood. There's after you already have a good set of photos in the bag, you've sent them out. You take it easy.
I think we spoke about that in the last podcast, right?
Yeah.
As well. That, like,
early photos.
We love the before 8 a.m. set, or the 2 sets before noon was always
exactly.
Exactly.
The early morning coffee runs are always a guarantee, to get somebody, because there's always those celebrities that go down to Starbucks or whatever the coffee shop is. Easy set.
I had some pictures run in Mail on the Mail Online. I think they ran in the paper this week as well, and that was William Shatner. He went out horse riding with his ex-wife. They're supposedly in the midst of $100 million divorce.
Ouch.
But yeah, they're still horse riding together and leaving the marital home together as well. He's a very, very early bird, and these were photos that I was bagging, well before lunchtime. So
is this what you were working on, Jedi?
That is what I was working on.
Oh, see, we've been waiting on this for 2 weeks, or for 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
That's 4 weeks.
It took a lot of early mornings and a lot of hard work.
Wow.
This guy has his routine, and not every day he wasn't leaving.
He's fucking Captain Kirk, goddammit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He wasn't leaving with the ex-wife every day, and I had to, kind of work it day in, day out to get these pictures that ran.
Did he know?
Wow.
Did he know that you were on him?
No.
Nice.
Not a clue.
Nice.
And, we'll put those pictures up on screen right now.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at those. Good stuff.
Hey, nice job.
Yeah. The glamour of Hollywood.
Yeah, that's
there
for
you
you viewers on the Social Nostra YouTube page, and all of you listening on the various other kind of podcast places that you find. Check up the episodes out on the Social Nostra YouTube page, and you'll be able to see as well. So
this is William Shatner, okay? I mean, I can't even think of the last times I've seen shots of him, right? You were working on this for what, 3 weeks?
I was there for maybe 6 or 7 days over that time period.
Yeah. See, that's a different kind of the business side of the business that people don't usually understand is,
that's working a story.
Working a story. I mean, back and forth, just coming back to it, working it again, and then coming back to it, stuff like that, because William Shatner's not going anywhere.
No.
I
mean, he's 90. He could go somewhere. He
could, but I'm just saying he's not going anywhere. He's not, he's not being worked on by other paps.
No.
So, you can go and you can kind of dip in and then dip out and dip back in again.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah. And so the set that was online, because I didn't see him yet. The set that was online, was it the entire set you got over that entire thing? How many pictures did they take?
They took, oh man. I mean, it was a picture exclusive.
Okay.
I think they took maybe 10 to 12 pictures, and they were shot they weren't all the same set. They were shot, I think there were 2 or 3 different times that I'd shot him. So yeah, it wasn't just a day. It was a long piece of work. It was tough.
Yeah.
Guy drives.
Which is why we always go by the rule. It's like whoever you see that's a celebrity, take the photo, because you never know what their market value is at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The assignment was to, just get a frame of him to start with. And then the story kind of went and went and went, I said he's in the midst of $100 million divorce, and to photograph him leaving his house with his ex-wife, or the one he's trying to divorce at the moment, it turned it right into a story.
Well, okay. Speaking of the $100 million divorce, I feel a little celebrity net worth game real quick.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm sure Jedi, you know what he's worth because
not a clue.
Oh, you don't?
Not a clue.
Okay. So Daryl, okay.
Yes.
We're gonna do a little quick one for you, okay?
Okay.
You know how we do this every once in a while?
Yes,
right?
I do.
Let me just grab my phone. I need to kind of squeeze in here. Maybe Kevin. Let me grab my phone here, and I'm going to bring up the value. Okay. You guys think about what he's worth. I'm going to try and bring it up without seeing it, because sometimes I can and can't.
I don't even know where to begin. He obviously did Star Trek for 1,000,000 years.
Right. Well, we have to think of this. It's his ex-wife, and she's at least going to take him for half. So if it's 100 million, then he's worth 200 million.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Shatner on here. I didn't see it. I saw the net worth come up. I clicked on it. I know what you're saying, Daryl. Okay. $100 million. He's got to be at least worth $100 million here.
He's
okay?
got to be worth twice that.
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
What are those commercials he does? Is it Priceline?
He used to. I don't know if he still does those.
He's obviously getting paid big bucks for those commercials. Has he done any more TV or movies? He must appear in something.
I've seen something recently.
Isn't Kaylee Cuoco his granddaughter or something?
Daughter in the commercial.
Yeah, right.
And then Shannon.
Not that she's worth anything or he's worth anything because of her.
Yeah. Are they related?
No.
Or are you just talking about in the commercial?
No,
I
think isn't she his granddaughter or something?
Really? I have no idea.
We'll have to look that up afterwards.
But I know he's lived in the same house for like 1,000,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
The royalties from Star Trek must be stupid. Like he must get paid a bunch.
But then it's also before kind of the royalties were the big bucks. You know what I mean? So is he really getting those royalties? I think it's mostly because of the, the endorsements, the commercials that he does.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
his
that's where
royalties,
I think it's mostly coming from.
Yeah, his royalties these days were, probably buy coffee.
Okay. I'm going to start it out.
Okay.
I will say, okay. So if she's going for $100 million, he's got to be at least worth twice that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Because that's just an easy paycheck for her.
Yep. Go for half.
Wow. I can't imagine him being worth $200 million. Really.
I could. Yeah, absolutely. He's
but
probably made some really good investments.
That's how it is. I'm going to say 210.
Okay.
I want to say 170, but just because of talking to you guys, I'm going to say 210.
Okay. I'll let you go
All
next.
Right. I'll top it out at, because I'm pretty sure he's probably made some very, very good investments throughout the years. He's got horses. Horses are always a good investment. I will officially say 300 million.
Oh.
Ooh, that's
okay.
Yeah. That's
I'm going right between you guys.
That's freaking Johnny Depp money right
what
there,
did you
dude.
say? You said 210?
I said 210.
I'm going to go 225.
225.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reveal
Drum roll, please.
on the iPhone 12 is
really
$100 million.
So that's all he's worth.
What?
That's all. It's not like it's
No, like I said, we're going with what this is on the internet.
I mean, that makes sense. The 100 million divorce. So
yeah, $100 million.
Wow.
You can see it right
Okay.
there.
All right. So she's gonna, get half of that. Hey, Bill.
There it is.
well, maybe that's why he's like trying to keep her sweet. He's taking the horse riding. She's staying over at the house.
Sure.
He doesn't want to give up that 50 mil right there.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's 90.
He's
Wow.
90. So if they stay married for another couple of years, he probably hasn't got too much longer anyway. So she'd get it all. So
Well, that's probably why they're friendly. Is like, hey, what the heck? How old is she? How old is the
How old
wife?
is she?
I think she's in her 50s or 60s.
I was gonna say 50s or 60s. Yeah.
She looks good. She looks good.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the other thing we were gonna look up on him real quick? What was that last thing?
His
whether Kaylee Cuoco was related to Quacko, Keiko. She's in a new show right now on HBO Max, The Flight Attendant. Have you seen it?
I heard great reviews on it.
I don't have HBO Max, and I'm certainly not going to pay the extra $10 a month to watch that show. I'm not a big fan of old Kaylee.
I have you worked on her? I've never seen her.
I've watched. She's also very much into horse riding.
Okay.
The only set I think I have.
Kaylee Cuoco revealed as William Shatner's daughter. In new Priceline commercial.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she's an avid horse rider as well. She's built her own stable somewhere out in Moore Park.
Yeah, she gets shot a lot.
Right. Like that. Yeah, and I think that's the only time I've shot her is when she arrived at the stables and
Right. I think I photographed her at the farmers market over there in the valley.
Oh, the Studio City one.
Yeah.
The guy that she's married to, actually, Carl Cook, is like an equestrian dude as well. He rides all sorts of horses, and I think his family are like worth $1 billion.
Of course.
So I don't know what she sees in him.
Must be his big wallet.
Yeah. His big something or other. I wanted to talk about something real fast.
Go for it.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
Did you see the story this week that he handed out $1 million to 13 or 14?
14 different people.
14 of his closest friends.
Daryl, did you hear about that?
I did not.
Man,
but
he's truly out of the game.
He is. I mean, I
love you for that, Daryl.
I've stopped checking news sites and Mail Online for a while because I've been off work for a little bit on somewhat of a vacation, moving into this place just down the street. But I saw this story and wanted to bring it up. I think it was, what was the movie Clooney did in space? It was just him with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, the Sandra Bullock one. Yeah. Gravity.
Gravity. So what it was, he like Gravity did really well in the movie theaters, and Clooney signed like some deal where he got paid a boatload of money if it did well, basically. And it did well, and they gave him bags and bags of money. And he thought, you know what? I've got these 14 of my 14 really close friends that have been with me forever. I don't know what I'd do without them. And I think it was before his wedding, he handed them each a briefcase full of $1 million.
Wow.
$1 million each. Can you imagine that?
But did you hear how he handed it to him?
I didn't.
Okay, so supposedly he went to a place downtown where there are pallets full of cash.
Come on.
Exactly. Now, as far as I know, and I've lived here my entire life, the only place where there's pallets full of cash is the Federal Reserve.
Right.
Downtown. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if it's not the Federal Reserve, there is a place downtown where you can go as a George Clooney and just scoop up giant sums of cash and then hand it over to people, or he got permission to go into the Federal Reserve and do the same thing, right? But either way, it's interesting that there's a place where you can go and scoop up giant sums of cash and then give it to somebody, right?
There you go. Pays to be loyal.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you saw the list of names as well, but like he handed $1 million to Randy Gerber, who is his partner in the
that doesn't need a damn cent.
Tequila, yeah. He doesn't need any money.
He doesn't
whatsoever.
need any money, yeah.
And a bunch of the guys were actors as well. There's that dude from my favorite show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I can't remember his name right now, but he got $1 million as well. Everyone got a freaking $1 million. Can you imagine?
Exactly.
I wish I'd befriended George Clooney 15 years ago.
Well, and also it was people that supposedly let him sleep on his couch and helped him out and helped him rise up in the industry. Randy Gerber, I don't think did that.
No, they They hung out and
So-
drank tequila.
So
There you go.
maybe there's a little bit to that story where it's like, yeah, there was a couple of people, but then I'm paying back this, whatever. But I don't know. It's hey,
That's pretty cool.
if celebrities do that, and they give back to the people that actually helped them, come up in the industry, I'm all for that. And
Absolutely.
I've always thought that George Clooney is a class act to an extent, but yes,
Daryl, have you shot Clooney before?
I have.
How did you
I have.
find
I've
it?
chased, I've chased him on his Harley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I've got
he
him,
didn't crash on it, did he? When you were
No.
chasing him? Okay.
No.
I got him on his Harley once as well, up at Beverly Glen. He was
Yes.
riding up there with a buddy, and he was really nice. I was working with another guy, a photographer that lives in England right now, and he went and got a selfie with Clooney as well. And
Nice.
Clooney was all smiles, took the helmet off, took the glasses off, big smiles.
Wow. That's a rare day.
Yeah, he was really, really nice. But I think I've shot him twice, and it was like I say, up at Beverly Glen once, and just another time at some random studio. But he's always, every time I photographed him, he's been really, really nice.
Yeah. He can be snarky at times, though.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you try and interrupt his vacation somewhere. I'm sure he's not too happy.
I can't
about it.
imagine he'd be too happy if you roll up on him in Lake Como or whatever. it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In LA, he's one of those celebrities where, if he knows where he is, he knows his demographic, where if he's in LA, he knows he's going to get shot. And
Yeah,
he knows how to avoid it if he needs to,
Yeah. That's why he goes to Italy.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a beautiful house in England as well. I photographed it from a helicopter a number of years ago. It's
Nice.
humongous. It's like a palace.
Yeah. And I just heard that he is refurbishing his LA home. The one that he has down there. That's it was around the corner from where Lucy Liu used to live.
Yeah.
And such. And Terry Hatcher used to live over there too.
That's right. And just up the road from Alex Trebek, who we spoke about a couple of podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clooney's building, I think he's building quarters for a nanny. He's also building like a playhouse for his twins.
Yeah.
It's just living quarters for the help, basically.
Yeah, of course.
So it must be nice.
Yeah, it must be.
So Daryl and I used to work together a lot because he used to run the West Side as I did, and there was a few celebrities that lived at the time around there, and we used to work them all the time. What are we gonna go through? Let's see. We had Pink.
Yep.
You knew I was gonna say Pink first.
Exactly.
Pink and Carrie Hart, and the reason I add Carrie Hart to that, because he's fucking worthless otherwise. The reason I add Carrie Hart to that is because Carrie Hart was the Brad of Pink.
Right.
Exactly.
So we had Pink, we had Nev Campbell, we had Annalyn McCord, we had Kellen Lutz, we had who else did we have over there?
Anna Paquin.
Oh, Anna Paquin, yes. We had and Stephen Paquin. Yes.
Mr. Paquin.
Yes,
And
were you guys working these together, or were you working against each other?
Sometimes. Yeah.
A lot of times I worked them by myself because I was the only one in the area. Mark had the amazing ability to drive up for the very first time when I'm first pulling out my camera, and there he is. And I've been working the area for like 45 minutes before that.
Hang on, this is breaking news. Is there some savagery going on here?
There was no savagery.
It sounds like there's a bit of savagery.
There was no savagery. It was two photographers that were just completely in tune with exactly what they needed to do and exactly what they needed to do at the right time, and we just happened to be together.
And the thing is that I didn't mind it being him when it rolled up. Some of the other savages that don't even know the area, they just got sent down there from the agency. The agency is like, oh, they're getting pictures from Venice. Why don't you guys go down there and blah, blah, blah. And what I used to do was I used to intentionally say that I shot the photos in Santa Monica so that they would not come to Venice. And, so that lasted a good while. And then finally some of the agencies started recognizing landmarks and things like that. So, that got over.
We still do that.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. You said the other day that you intentionally, marked your pictures as one city, and yet the agency that you put through that time marked it.
I did it 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's called protecting your turf.
Exactly. And we have to do that sometimes, listeners. Because,
as long as it can be, as long as you can do it, because they're going to figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
But
as soon as as soon as the savages kind of figure it out, it's gone for us, It ruins our exclusives.
Another one that I used to shoot regularly was Evan Rachel Wood and Jamie Bell, because they first moved down there. And at first they were, they were the loving couple and all this other such. They were, just all, smiles and giggles. But then, as she got more popular, it wasn't so much fun for her then after that. And then she was hanging out with Chloe Moritz. What's her last name? What's her name?
Chloe something.
Chloe.
The little girl.
No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The one that was with Brooklyn Beckham for a minute.
Exactly.
Chloe Moretz.
Evan had taken her under her wing, and I started working on Evan when she had just finished Across the Universe, the musical movie that she did.
Yeah, the Beatles one.
Yeah, which is a fabulous movie. I like that one
with Jim Sturgis, right? Or Jim Sturgis, or something like that.
Yeah.
Where's he gone?
Right.
He'll pop up again. So, but yeah, it was good. Lots of fun. Lots of stories in Venice. Oh, another one that I got was Selma Blair when she first had her kid. That was just sheer luck on that. Her parents lived in Venice, so she used to come down and visit them, but she was an early person. She was out 6 o'clock in the morning. And, it was like, holy cow. And I discovered her one day when I was waiting for Pink, and I saw her walking back from the beach. I was like, wait a minute, when did she pass me? But then, then the next day I was intentionally looking for her. And again, she's coming back from the beach at 8:30 in the morning. She's coming back from the beach with her little stroller. And I was like, wow. So that, when something like that happens, then you start moving up your start time. Well, let me try 7 o'clock.
I have a quick Selma Blair story I want to throw in here.
Go.
It's going to be good for the visual as well for the Nostra YouTube. She did a viral video maybe 8 or 9 years ago. It was this dude, I think Selma Blair was walking along the street. 2 guys run up to her. Selma, show us something cool. And she does a bunch of weird magic tricks and stuff. It's on YouTube. You'll have to, hopefully we'll plug it in right here.
Random.
Yeah, it's so random, but it went viral, and hopefully we're showing it right now. And then 2 days later, me and another guy, we went and worked her just because this video came out. And she went grocery shopping or something. I'll get the pictures to pop up. And we went up to her, camera and video. Selma, show us something cool. And she cracked up. She was laughing, smiling, and just gave us every picture we wanted. It was perfect. She used to be she probably still is such a nice woman.
She was always cool. I mean, she used to live up off of Genesee, right? For a minute.
It was Genesee and Selma,
I think. Genesee and Selma, yeah. And we used to work her up there, and she was always cool. She's always been cool. I mean, obviously she had what was it? Was it MS or
I think it was MS.
Yeah. MS or yeah. And she went through that, but it looks like she actually came through it pretty well, and she's doing good again. And we're really happy that she did. But Selma down on the west side, Daryl, I remember when she used to live down there, and she used to post these videos of her doing the coolest things before it was before 8 o'clock in the morning, just like you said, and it was always one of those where I always wanted to get down there and try and get her when she was doing that stuff, and I could never get her, because she always did it so early,
Yeah.
But then at the same time, what you're talking about, you would be down there and you'd be there for that, and then all of a sudden Pink would roll up, you know.
Yep.
And Venice is not like that anymore, you know, because Venice is so overrun with homeless, and you know, it's just not the somewhat glamorous Venice as it used to be, even though it was never glamorous, but
it had a certain charm.
Nobody lives there anymore.
It's
changed
right now.
Exactly.
I saw a video recently. It was on the news. Remember when we had the winds a week or so, maybe a couple of weeks ago, and it was really bad gusty winds down in Venice, and it was just homeless encampments just being blown all over the place along the main strip right now, where you probably worked all the time.
The boardwalk,
it's so bad. It's deserted and just stinky kind of homeless.
Yeah, it's I think all the celebrities are kind of turned off by it right now and stuff. But those days were good. You know, Nev Campbell. I mean, let's go back to Nev Campbell for a minute, okay?
Go for it.
Because Nev Campbell, you know, I mean, what you tell me, what's your impression of Nev Campbell just right off the top of your head?
Scream.
Yeah, that's all I
No, not the movie. I mean, like working her.
Oh, she was always pleasant.
Pleasant? What?
Like for the first 5 minutes, she's pleasant.
Okay, okay. That's not what I thought you were gonna say.
Oh, no. What was I gonna say?
Okay, no, that's not what I thought you were gonna say, because she hated me when I was shooter.
She always knew you were there.
Yeah, she always knew I was there. Yeah, I got the first shots of her and the kid together on the beach. I have video of this. I actually came across it the other day. It was her and the kid on the beach when she had her first child. And that's not why she was upset, but she just hated any time. I would say you were the first to shoot her.
Yes, I was
down on the west side, and I remember you would get these awesome shots of her, and then when we finally discovered where she was, obviously you had already ruined it. Not you personally, but ruined it for the paps that were going to continue these shots.
Right.
Because she knew you as someone who was cool, and then all the rest of us are just jerks from that point on.
What happened to her? I've not seen anything of her forever. Is she still in the business? Is she still in LA?
Yeah, still around.
She was in Skyscraper with The Rock like 2 years ago.
He was his wife.
Yeah.
Skyscraper.
I know. No, come on.
I think the last rock movie I saw was that the earthquake one. Or was that Skyscraper?
It was just after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing as the earthquake one. It's a giant skyscraper they built somewhere. The thing catches on fire. His family's caught in the thing, and he jumps from the crane to the thing. Man, come on.
Oh, okay. It's The Rock being The Rock.
Yeah, it's The Rock being The Rock, and he had 1 foot. By the way, he was a.
Of course,
he was a veteran or something.
He was a veteran that had his leg amputated, but he still jumped from the crane to the building.
What a hero!
Love The Rock, man.
Yeah, I do too.
Have you shot The Rock?
Oh yeah, I've shot The Rock.
Daryl, have you shot The Rock?
Yeah, I shot him over at Gold's Gym. He used to go down there all the time down in Venice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Rock.
One day he walked down the street to a restaurant to have lunch, and then I shot him all the way down there and shot him all the way back. I gave him his space. He was cool.
He was cool, right?
Yeah.
He's always the coolest.
He's someone I'd really like to shoot.
He's the coolest of the cool. Now, I mean, nowadays you actually have to at least get through a little bit of his security to shoot him, because there's no way he's by himself anywhere where you're just gonna come across him and do that. He'll always have security with him, just like Schwarzenegger does, or anything like that, where they're gonna come and they're gonna talk to you real quick and say, okay, just stay here and we'll give you some shots, But he will always give some cool shots.
Does he sell?
Absolutely.
Every single time.
It sells.
He will always sell.
Yeah, I wouldn't know whether to shoot The Rock first or run up to him and try and get a selfie with him.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That would be a cool picture.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd love a picture with The Rock.
For sure.
I would nail the shots and then ask for a selfie.
Right.
Exactly. No, the last 2 times I've shot him, honestly, he was shooting Ballers, and they were going to be there. They were going to be there for a few days. And I shot him, and I knew they were going to be there for the next day. And I would bring my kids down there because I wanted my kids to get shot with him, because my kids are huge fans of The Rock.
Did they?
No, it's just it didn't work out where they were at the same time. They were there at the same time where he was there. But that's another thing we need to get into one day, Jedi, is I've tried to get my kids through my job pictures with celebrities, and I've pulled it off a couple of times and not pulled it off. We'll get into that another time.
Do you watch the
Right.
show, Brothers?
I've seen it a few times,
Oh
but
my
I'm not an avid watcher.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a soap opera for men, basically.
Sure. Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mark, you used to also get celebrities to say hello to your friend. That was a lot of fun.
I know, right? Yeah. Ralph, say hi to Ralph. Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that on a past podcast where Hasselhoff,
The Hoff.
but yeah, that was fun. I got a Beverly Hills Cop to do it too. That was the hardest part.
Who's Ralph?
I got celebrities to do it. My brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, Daryl. Okay, real quick. Let's talk about Pink. Okay, because I know that's where your most experience is, and with Carrie Hart.
Yes, indeed.
And
Yes,
let's just talk about them on the West Side real quick. Okay, your impression straight off.
Evil people. Evil people. She is the consummate actress. As far as when she's in her showbiz mode, she is an absolute actress, and it just. But as an everyday person, she's just an evil woman, and her husband is just an evil idiot. And I first photographed them. They were actually shopping for homes in Venice Beach. And I was sitting at my little coffee shop down there on Washington, and I saw them walk past. I went, wow, that's Pink. And I was walking around behind them as they were checking out homes and things like that.
Let me just stop you real quick, Daryl. Okay. So Daryl would, in the morning, just head over to this Starbucks that was kind of just at, what is it, Pacific and Washington, right?
Yep.
And he would just chill, because it has a nice big front window right there.
Yep.
He would just chill. He would check his emails, just like, 10 other people would do in the morning.
Yep.
And he would just sit there. And then these celebrities that lived around the area would just kind of congregate in the area.
Yep.
And over time, it would just become a normal thing. You would be there. They would be there. They knew you were there.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah.
Okay, here we go.
And all I would do is, I'd be on my computer. I see them walk past the window. I'd leave my computer right where it is, walk outside, snap some shots of them as they walked out, come back inside, send the shots off right away. So
and it was like, you weren't hiding from them. You were out right in front of them, just.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't scavenging him though.
No.
He would go across the street and shoot him from across the street. Giving him plenty of space.
Yeah.
But they knew he was there. When they would roll up in the morning, they would know he was there.
Right. I mean,
because he was just there.
Yeah, they'd seen him before. It was,
yeah, because there was a multiple.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not hunting you. You showed up to where I was.
Right. So Pink and Carrie, they knew that you'd be there because you'd seen them. They'd seen you shoot them before, but yet they'd still get pissed and angry with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to the point. Come on, Daryl, tell us about Carrie.
I got into a point where I got into a skirmish with Carrie, and I'm like, really, dude? Because he has to, be the big, strong husband for his wife and protect his wife and, be the manly man and things like that. And he's like, it's like this big. I'm like, dude, get out of my face.
Did he put hands on you?
He threatened to, and I told him, I said, he's like, let's fight. And I'm like, okay, throw the first punch and it's on. And he never threw the first punch because my photographer buddy was with me capturing the entire thing.
Yeah, because there's photos of this. There's photos of you guys nose to nose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was me just saying, stop being a little wimp and just throw the punch, because all I needed was for him to throw the punch, and then I was gonna whop on him and then sue his ass.
So he's being the epitome of a Brad right there.
Oh my God, he was such the Brad. Yes.
Yes.
It's like it just calling Brad's Carries wouldn't have been just wouldn't have sounded right.
Yeah.
But he is one of the originals. So yes, we should have called him Carries, but it just didn't sound right. For the podcast.
Yeah. Well, then, because Brad then earned his name. So
He did for sure. Yes.
Yeah,
You never got a chance to really experience the real Brad, did you?
No.
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 You left
that-
just before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to experience Brad. I mean, now I'm a West Side guy. I'm going to be like.
We don't know where they are.
I'm going to be frequenting the same haunts as you.
I don't know where they are.
I'm going to be sitting outside. Now I know your address. I'm just going to be sitting up the street from you. As soon as you leave the house,
You follow him.
I'm just going to sit in behind you, follow you to the movie sets.
Just take PCH into work, okay?
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're going to be bumping heads, man. Maybe we won't be doing this podcast anymore.
No,
I'm going to be jumping your shit.
No, we're gonna be teaming up. We're gonna be teaming up.
I like this.
Paparazzi podcast style, PPC.
I like the sound of that. We'll have our own agency, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Happens.
Sounds good.
Happen.
But yeah, so yeah, Pink and you know, when she was by herself, you know, she could be snarky, but you know, not as snarky when she's got backup of her husband and things like that. And then, you know, there was one time he was chasing me through 5 different restaurants in that little Strand area down there in Washington because he got mad. I was taking pictures of him. He's like, dude, you're on the city street. I'm going to take your photo, you know, and he started chasing me. I went into the Whaler.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He would always try and have a problem with any of it. I mean, he would go, they would get out on the bikes and they would go down to, you know, the Venice Ale House, that type of thing. And they'd go on this and they would be just super extravagant. They would wear costumes. They would, you know, they would do, it would be a production that they would go. They would even have video people with them sometimes that would come along with them, you know?
Yep.
And then we would see them pass by us because we were just there.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, and Pink, I mean, she never really would care too much. I mean, she did here and there, but Carrie would always just jump into the scene and have to say something, which was always hilarious to me.
So was he?
Well,
we always looking out for you guys then? He was always.
Yes.
So it's really hard to work them to.
Yeah, and he would throw out the whole, you know, we're with our kids thing, you know, because sometimes they would be with their kids, and we're like, we're not shooting your kids, we're shooting you, you know, blah blah blah. Yeah.
We got them in trouble with the first child when they were out riding bikes because they put their little infant child, she was like 5 months old or something like that, and they would put her in this bicycle seat for the baby, but it didn't have a helmet on. And so we put those shots out, and apparently they got in trouble for that because, you know, like a few days later they had brand new bikes that were, you know, different, and then they all had helmets on, and it was like, oh, there you go.
I remember that. And our you know, one of our predecessors, Karloff, did get into a skirmish with Carrie and one of Carrie's buddies, and they ended up kicking him in the nuts. And you can hear that story back on one of the old podcasts.
Oh, that's funny.
And he ended up suing Carrie Hart and Pink because of that. They ended up breaking his camera and kicking him in the nuts, and it was pretty funny.
Did he get paid?
He did.
I remember when that happened. I remember.
I think he had a sum of like 12 or like $18,000 or something like that. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I hear.
I take a kick in the nuts for 12 grand.
Yeah, and I don't think it was much of a kick in the nuts either. I think it was just, you know, a graze of the nuts. Yeah, I think it was a graze of the nuts. Yeah, but I think there was some witnesses that saw it. So
12K for a graze of the balls. Sign me up.
And we have a title for this episode.
Yeah,
Graze of the balls.
Oh man. Happy days for the Graze.
Yes. Well, we've all had our skirmishes. I've had Jim Carrey chase me on Mulholland Drive because he didn't like his photos taken. It's like, dude, you gotta, you know, catch me. And this was back in the days when Lindsay Lohan was living up on Mulholland at that rehab place. She was at the rehab place, and I'm driving on PC on Mulholland, and I'm like realizing, oh crap, I'm just about to, you know, go past that constellation of cars, you know. And as soon as, because Nick Cage had like this really tricked out black Porsche, and everybody knew it. And so I roll up and I roll down the windows, and I'm like, this Jim Carrey's chasing me, you know. So they all break out the cameras and so it was a lot of fun.
That's funny. Did he catch up to you? Did he like have words with him?
Yeah, he caught up with me at lights, because those intersections, you can't really run those intersections those canyons, roads going over. So you can't really run those lights, but he never got out of his car.
But was he chirping at you through the window?
Yes and no, but I was ignoring him. I was sort of enjoying the fun.
So why was he even chasing you? What's he trying to get from that?
Yeah.
Oh, who knows? I had Chris Robinson chase me when he was married to
Kay Hudson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was the weekend that they were getting a divorce. And he was like, he comes running up to my car window and he's like banging on the window. He's like, dude, can't you see we're going through a personal time here? And I'm like, yeah, dude, you already got my shots. You're bothering me now.
Yeah. Yes, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, Jim Carrey chased me once too in an Escalade in his car. Never exchanged any words, never nothing. But he followed me after I tried to follow him. He ended up following me and then ended up giving up. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about with Jim.
Yeah, he's a tricky one to get these days.
Oh,
you don't see
I
too
dare you
much
to
of
try.
him.
I dare you to try.
Remember, I mean, we've spoken about this, I'm sure, in previous podcasts when he was dating Jenny McCarthy, and he'd literally give it up wearing a bikini on Malibu Beach. Yeah, they switched swimsuits.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ridiculous, and the pictures are going to pop up right now on the Ministry YouTube. But yeah, he went from being a complete dick for like the longest time to just completely giving it up to everybody.
There were some celebrities that I had worked on for many, many months and months and months and never, ever even saw them. Jim Carrey was one, John Travolta. Yeah, and we all know where they live and things like that. And, you wait down at the bottom of the hill for these folks to come down. Never saw them. Never saw them. Rachel Bilson, I worked on her a couple of times. Never saw her.
Oh,
never.
I love Rachel Bilson. I've got so many sets of her over the years. She was always an absolute sweetheart to shoot.
Nice.
So nice. And I think on the first podcast I did, way back when, I spoke about her and Misha were one of the first people I shot together. When I first started shooting, because I started out with video, they were at the Troubadour. Adam Brody, who was also in the show Orange County, OC.
County. Yep.
OC. He played the drums in a band. They were watching the band. I was the only person outside with a camera. Asked them to take pictures of them. They both said yes. And then I had one over each shoulder viewing the pictures on my camera.
Nice.
And like saying how nice they were. And I'm like, oh my God, this job is the best. Everybody's so nice. And then after that, everybody was assholes. It's funny.
Yeah.
My very first assignment as a pap was Tom Cruise. I was a film photographer. I had film cameras and things like that. And I said, I'm not getting a digital camera. Screw that. I'm a film guy. I was a film snob. And I was like, I'm not getting a digital camera. And then one day, out of the blue, I woke up and said, I'm going to go buy a digital camera. So I went down and bought a 20D, Canon 20D. You know how old that is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I went down and then I called up a buddy of mine who is in the paparazzi business. And I said, hey, I just bought a digital camera. Give me something to do. He says, okay, go down to Beverly Hills High School and shoot Tom Cruise. I'm like, okay. I'm like, going, yeah, right. I'm going to go down and, find Tom Cruise. So here I am. I'm just a regular guy, right? So I drive down there. Tom Cruise was doing promo that weekend for the second Mission Impossible. So he was doing the dog and pony show. You know what I mean? He was, being Tom Cruise. So I walk into he was there because his son was playing the baseball game. So I walk into the outside field and there he is sitting there as Tom Cruise. And he was at the end of the bleachers and I sat on the other end of the bleachers. And I just, turned off to my side and just squeezed off some shots, And when I left, I saw all the other paparazzis out in the parking lot. And I was like, wow, that was my first experience of paparazzi because there was like 20 guys out there. I was like, wow, what's going on here? So I saw my buddy and I said, here, I got some shots. And he's like, dude, you're not supposed to go into the stadium and shoot them.
That's funny. Can you remember if your shots ran over everyone
yeah.
else's in the
They,
park?
of course they did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, because he was Tom Cruise, and they were nice close shots of him, and he was in the stands and things like that. And the money that I got from those photos, because they ran like 3 days later, the magazines come out on Monday, they ran. I paid for my 20D in literally a week.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's
I was like, wow. So then after that, I was hooked.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
Hold
But
on 2 seconds.
But I learned that you're not supposed to go into the stadium.
okay. We're holding.
On hold.
While Mark takes a poop.
So what was your first was the story you just told was the first one?
That was one of my first photo assignments. Like I said, I was video to start with. I think the first person I ever got on video was Heather Locklear leaving Kitson on Robertson.
Yes.
And then the second one, which I've spoken about on previous podcasts, was Angelina Jolie landing her plane at Santa Monica Airport. It was me and I was with Stanley, and Stanley was all set up he had the camera on a monopod, and we had the flight details somehow. I don't know how, and I had my video camera set up on a tripod.
Yeah.
So it was just real smooth, beautiful, like 15-20 seconds of her coming down, landing, and then turning the plane, and the full view of her, kind of concentrating at the controls.
Yes.
And that was my first thing that sold. And I think it made $2,500 or $2,000. And it was literally 15 seconds, and it was just ridiculously easy. And I'm like, I'm going to make a fuckload of money doing this.
I remember those shots. Those were magnificent shots.
Yeah, God, those were the good old days.
Yeah, my second shots that sold, which was like the very next week, was also Heather Locklear. She and her little girl at the time had gone to Disneyland, and I think at the time she was getting a divorce from Richie Sambora.
Yeah,
this was like the Richie it was the trio of Sambora, Locklear, and Denise Richards.
Oh, okay.
Denise Richards was the other woman. And so Heather Locklear and her daughter went down to Disneyland, and, it was just a mom and daughter day. And, I went down there with the owner of the agency, and I had my 20D, and these guys have got, the big Mark IIs and Mark I's and things like that.
Yeah.
And I squeezed off some shots of them at Disneyland, and with these pros, the guys who had been in the business for a couple of years before me, my shots were the ones that ran. I was like, wow.
I'm so glad you brought up Disneyland, Daryl. It's something that we're going to have to talk about in a new episode.
I was just thinking that as well. It's a whole episode.
Yeah, because Disneyland shots are they kind of rise above all,
Yeah,
and,
to capture those, you got to be on your game.
Yeah, for sure. So
I've been down there for Gwen Stefani. I've been down there for Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
I've been down there for Dennis Quaid, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I would and honestly, Daryl, I would love for you to come back on so we can talk about Disneyland shots. Because I would love to have a multiple version of this, when we do talk about it,
Yeah.
But and I'm so glad you brought up your kind of origin, because that's usually how we do it, is we talk about the origin stories beforehand at the beginning, and we never did get your origin in this, but I'm glad you brought that up, on your own.
Let me recap.
Sure.
I've been a photographer since I was like 12 years old. I was one of those guys that you remember, like now is Thanksgiving time. So all the family would come over to, your houses and things like that, and they'd take photos, and you get the photos back a week later because it was filmed back in those days. And in the photo is you've got the entire rest of the dining room, and the whole family is scrunched up on the side, and Uncle Roy is cut off, and Aunt Thelma's arm is sticking off, and you're like, wait a minute. It's like, why not just center the photo and everybody's in the shot? You don't have to have the dining room in the shot or the curtains of the living room. So that's how I started. Now, that just taught me composure. So after that, I was on my way. When I became a paparazzi, I've always been a good photographer. Being a paparazzi made me a better photographer because it taught me how to tell a story in 5 photos or less.
Yep. I like that.
That's good. I mean, that's all you need, isn't it?
That's all you need.
That's all you need to tell a story.
That's right. Well, and honestly, Daryl, when you were working in the business, we would put in photos, our sets of photos would be what, 20, 30, 40 pictures. So your whole 5 photo storytelling really didn't suffice really. But now the way the business is and the way that the clients are buying pictures, it is 5 photos or less.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So we really have to think that way,
Uh-huh.
So it's come to fruition for sure.
Right. Well, the Savages, the staffers for a lot of these agencies, the agencies would give these guys cameras, and these guys are like holding the shutter down. They're squeezing off 300 shots in, like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, a photo editor has to go through these shots. What are you doing?
Or them. I mean, me, I had to edit them myself.
Yeah, that was, us. But, those Savages, they were not doing their X17 and all that. They weren't editing their own photos. They were taking them back.
Yeah. And they were making just as much money.
Oh, yeah.
Just being Savages.
I'd hate to be the photo editor for that.
I know, right? They did hate them. And they were getting paid less than the photographers. All right. Well, cool, Daryl. Well, hey, you know what, man? I really appreciate this. I'm really happy that we got to reminisce on some of these old stories and and get your take on this, because I know you had a really unique take during that whole time,
Absolutely.
We'll have to get him back for the Disneyland episode. I think.
Yes. No.
Yes.
We have to get you back more often, Daryl, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of stories.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've only scratched the surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Daryl, we thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And it's really good to see you. And we'll get you back on.
If there's anybody we offended, we apologize.
I love Daryl. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
Beautiful. For anybody that we have offended in this papisode, we apologize.
Yeah. I don't think of anybody.
I don't think so. We've been lovely. This has been a
Pink. Carrie Hart. Carrie Hart. We offended him.
Fuck him. He deserves it.
Yes. Carrie Hart.
Yeah.
We definitely offended him once or twice.
Keep listening. Keep subscribing to the Social Nostra on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast, the Paparazzi Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, comment, send us pictures, tag us, and there you go.
Everybody, take care and be well. Daryl, you have any last words?
Be good humans.